What do you think about when you look back at 2020? If you're like me, you think about all the missed opportunities to go out and do things that make you, you. You probably miss going out to concerts, seeing friends, family, and coworkers, and definitely miss traveling. I started off 2020 with a massive amount of eagerness and anticipation. And why not? It's the beginning of a new decade. I was getting settled into my new city, Fond du Lac, getting into the groove at my new job, and it was going to be my year. I was just coming off of 2019, where I was able to travel to 14 national parks and run my first half marathon. Who knows what this decade will bring? We started off the year going to one of my favorite places, Zion National Park in Utah. Anna had gotten me an entry into a half marathon for Christmas, so we had to go. This was the second time I've been to Zion, and it just so happens to be on a leap year. Not only did I finish this race with a personal best time of 1 hour, 50 minutes, and 8 seconds, but we got to go on some amazing hikes. We tackled Angel's Landing, which is one of the world's most renowned hikes, featuring unforgettable views and 1,000-foot drops on both sides as you hike toward the most stunning view of Zion Canyon. You definitely don't want to slip on this hike.
Wow.
After the half marathon, we rented some cold water gear and took a trip up the Narrows, which is a slot canyon carved out by the Virgin River. But this is not your typical slot canyon. Sandstone walls tower thousands of feet above you as you snake up the river. The canyon is so narrow at points that you can touch both sides as you trek up.
Wow.
This stop definitely deserves a second visit. We even had time to go to Bryce Canyon, which is Zion's neighbor. Bryce is known for its geological structures called hoodoos. That's right, not voodoos, but hoodoos. These strange features are created from the weathering of sedimentary rock below and the unique freezing and thawing condition that occurs at Bryce's 10,000 foot of elevation.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Look at the hoodoos.
We hiked into the hoodoos and couldn't believe how amazing they were up close. As sad as we were to leave Utah, it couldn't have come at a better time. As we returned home from our trip in early March, the realization set in that 2020 was going to be different than any other year. Of course, the realization was COVID-19.
Bye-bye, trolley. We only have an hour. We're not gonna make it. Oh no, it's not gonna be fast enough. We're gonna miss our flight. There's only an hour left.
I'd been training for my first marathon hard since the beginning of the year. This was one of my big 2020 goals.
Today is April 5th, and I'm running my first marathon this morning. I've got a team of people here who are helping me. It's basically my parents. They're gonna chase after me and make sure that I have water and then I don't die on the trail. I'm gonna run from Fond du Lac to Waupun and back. That's about 26 miles. I'm very excited. I've never done a marathon before. And I'm gonna start right at 8 and I should be back by noon.
I planned out 8 stations along the route that my parents would drive to and provide encouragement, water, and food. The plan worked to a T, and I was able to finish all 26.2 miles in 3 hours, 50 minutes, and 4 seconds. Almost 10 minutes faster than my planned time. This was definitely a highlight of the year. We all experienced a lot of losses with coronavirus. One of the worst was the fact that Anna would not get a chance to walk across the stage for her graduation with her master's, something that she'd been working towards for many years. We did have a chance to throw her somewhat of a surprise graduation party with some of her close friends and family. Around the same time, I was able to close on my first rental property in Fond du Lac, a 4-unit building located on the north side of Fond du Lac. Memorial Day was a blast this year. Me and my family headed up to Door County to explore while my brother Kyle was home from Colorado. It gave us a chance to check out the state parks in this area and enjoy some of Wisconsin's beautiful summer weather.
To Brian, and don't be a dipshit. Are you recording that?
Shortly after Memorial Day, my mom and I went out to visit Kyle in Colorado. It was really great to be able to see where he lives and works in Colorado Springs. We got the opportunity to see Royal Gorge, which is carved out of the rock by the Arkansas River, and I was able to climb the tallest mountain in Colorado, Mount Elbert. This would start my high pointing journey, where I'm working on climbing the highest points in all 50 states. My mom would make it up most of the way too, climbing to around 12,500 feet of the 14,439 feet of the mountain. That's pretty impressive. That was one of the high points of the year, no pun intended.
How did I do that?
Shortly after that, Anna and I visited the Apostle Islands in northern Wisconsin for the first time and took in all the beauty of the Lake Superior coast. This area, coined the Jewel of Lake Superior, offers many adventure opportunities. We camped nearby and really enjoyed the time out there, even though it rained part of the time. So we're having a little camping adventure in the car. See, we got a fire.
It's so toasty.
We've been enjoying it from here. The next adventure came in late August, when me and my dad drove out to Idaho to visit my 3 half-brothers. On the way out, we made a stop in the Badlands in South Dakota. We didn't stay long in the park, but I had a chance to hike around in the dramatic landscapes and layered rock formations. We also made a quick pit stop at the site of Custer's Last Stand, which is right off the interstate. I'd never been to Idaho before, and the lakes and mountains were really something to see. I rode my bike across the Idaho-Washington state line on the 900-mile Centennial Trail. I was able to climb to the top of the 7,009-foot Scotchmans Peak, which overlooks the scenic Lake Pend Oreille. I was able to get my high point count up to 3 after visiting the 1,951-foot Timms Hill, which is the high point of Wisconsin, with my friend Dan, and the 1,235-foot Charles Mound, the high point in Illinois, with my mom, in the same weekend. Charles Mound is only open a couple weekends of the year, so it was a perfect time to knock this item off my bucket list. My next trip was kind of a last-minute deal. Plans had fallen through to go to Yellowstone with my parents, and with the COVID spreading throughout the Midwest, it wasn't the best time to travel. I decided to throw caution to the wind and set out on one of my biggest bucket list items yet. I have a couple of things that I'd like to do before I turn 30, and this was one of them. I flew into Las Vegas, rented a car, and hiked the rim to rim to rim at the Grand Canyon. This consisted of a little over 50 miles hiking and over 11,000 feet of vertical elevation gain in 2 days. I have a video dedicated to this hike, so check it out if you want a more detailed look. But it was something I will always remember. The Grand Canyon is one of those places you just have to go see. There's no way to adequately describe what it's like when you look into the canyon. You just have to go there and see it. On the same trip, I was able to check out Horseshoe Bend, which is located just a couple miles south of Page, Arizona, and the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area, which offers many trails around Lake Powell, which is created by the Glen Canyon Dam in Page. I visited Marble Canyon, which is in the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, where the Colorado River runs just before it carves out the Grand Canyon. I hiked on the Cathedral Wash Trail, which is a slot canyon that runs down to the Colorado. I was surprised how challenging it was to find a safe route to the bottom. I really enjoyed this trail. The last stop on this trip was Humphreys Peak. Humphreys Peak is a 12,637-foot mountain located just outside of Flagstaff, Arizona, and coincidentally, the highest point in Arizona. I met some great people on the top, and this would be my 4th high point of the year, and consequently, my last of 2020. The hike was a perfect way to end my Arizona trip. Shortly after returning from Arizona, we got the plague of the coronavirus. My brother ended up getting it, and so did my parents. All the cases were unrelated, and we all made it through. About this time, I was able to close on my second rental property in Fond du Lac, and shortly after got an accepted offer on the third. Anna also bought a house this year. In all, 2020 was filled with a lot of disappointments. Summerfest, which I had gone to every year since 2005, canceled. Blue Ox Music Fest in Eau Claire, canceled. And the list goes on and on. The biggest takeaway, I think, from 2020 was to cherish the time you have with one another. Make sure to count your blessings and take care of each other. We all have lost a lot this year, but if you think about it, we all have a lot to be grateful for too. And let's all have the best 2021 yet. See you on the trail. And remember, hindsight's 2020.
Okay, we are on our way to Costco. The coronavirus has struck, and we need to make sure that we're supplied. So we brought along a straggler as well. We have to make sure that we have toilet paper.
Gotta make sure we got
Because-
bread.
And we got to make sure we have bread and water, because the water is going to shut off.